Hi, it's Jenny Jackson. I'm really glad that you're here and appreciate you taking the time to watch this video to learn a little bit more about the Enneagram in anticipation of our upcoming time. The Enneagram is a broad topic. It is kind of a fount of wisdom, really. And so I just want to give you some context and some background in case you're brand new to this topic. The Enneagram is a tool that can be used for growth and development. It helps us understand the way that we see the world and what our underlying motivations are. The Enneagram is not a test or an assessment. The Enneagram is really, really old, and so there's not somebody who kind of created it and made a test to go with it. What there are centuries of study on the Enneagram, on understanding the 9 different ways we see. And subsequently, people have created assessments and tests to help us discern our number. They're often helpful data points. My caution would be that because the Enneagram is based on your core motivation and not your outward behaviors, can be very hard to test for. So just know that if you've taken an assessment, it may have gotten your number spot on. That was my experience. The number that I tested as indeed ended up being the number that I most resonated with. But know that there's some wiggle room in there. And so the number, if you've taken an assessment recently, the number that it sort of spit out saying like, hey, this is who you are, it might be accurate, or it might just be a good jumping off point for figuring some things out. And that's something that I can work through together with you if that's something that you're interested in. It is important to get that piece accurate as you're learning more about the Enneagram, because the best way to understand how to use Enneagram wisdom for growth and development, like personally and professionally, is to, of course, start with the accurate number. So that's the first piece of information, is that tests are helpful, but they're not conclusive. The second thing that I would want you to know about the Enneagram is that kind of some Enneagram etiquette. And that's this: the Enneagram is a tool for compassion. It's a tool for understanding yourself and the people around you better. What it isn't is a way to put yourself or other people in a box. And the whole point of the Enneagram, once you discern your number, once you're sure what lens you see through, is not to say, oh, well, I'm a 4 and I'm just going to keep being as 4-ish as I can be. I'm a 4, so I pick on 4s. The point of the Enneagram is to use that as kind of a launch pad to see some ways that you are really skilled and gifted, some areas that are going to come easier for you than others, and to also see some areas where you may find yourself kind of getting tripped up. There can be some patterns or some tendencies that you may not even be aware of, that once you know your number and learn a little bit, you can start to see. I compare it to wearing glasses, right? So those of you who have worn glasses ever in your life may remember the first time you put those glasses on, you can see the rim around your eyes. Like, you're very aware that you're wearing these kind of annoying glasses. And then somehow at some point magically, you just stop seeing the lenses and you're just seeing the world. The Enneagram is a little bit like that, except that we all have lenses that we see the world through. We all have perspectives that are unique to us and unique to our number, but we don't always notice that we're seeing through a certain lens. So I may not stop and think, am I viewing this situation through the lens of an Enneagram 4? Do I have a little bit of a twist on it that may alter how I see or how I understand? Maybe, maybe not. But once you know to ask yourself that question, you can challenge yourself. Is this a helpful way to see, or do I need a different perspective? Similarly, when you understand that there are 8 other ways to view the world, 8 other ways of seeing, it raises our ability to get along with each other. It raises our compassion for other people's perspectives. It is so beneficial in the workplace and in personal relationships and in family relationships to understand the way people see.